In the previous video that you watched, I went over sine and how we can use it in real-world scenarios to figure things out. So let's look at cosine. So when I first introduced trigonometric functions and cosine specifically, I told you that cosine of theta, of an angle, is equal to the adjacent side over the hypotenuse side of the triangle. Now, let's look at how we can use cosine in some real-world applications. So, I don't know, let's say we're hiking up a mountain, alright? So we're hiking up this big mountain, alright? And we're on a little hiking trip, so we're hiking up this big mountain, alright? And let's say we're earth scientists here, and we found this new mountain, we're doing some research, and just to put it on the internet, we want to figure out the height of this mountain. All right, we need to understand some of the features and nature of this mountain here. So let's say I started at the bottom of the mountain, and I had a tracker that tracked my steps and my movement, and it determined that from the bottom of the mountain to the top of the mountain, that this segment would be, let's say 1,000 feet. Alright, so it's a fairly small mountain. So it's 1,000 feet. And now I need to figure out the height of the mountain from the ground to the tippy top of the mountain here. So this is going to be x. We don't know the height. Now, let's say I determine the angle of the top of the mountain down to the side and just straight down this angle here. Let's say we said that this angle would be, let's say 47 degrees. All right, so how do we find for the height of the mountain here? Now, we can't use Pythagorean theorem because we don't know how wide this is. We don't know from this point to this point. All right, so this is a mystery. All right, so how do we find out the height? Well, let's use cosine to figure out the height of this mountain. So we can set this up as cosine of 47. All right, so cosine of 47 is equal to the adjacent side. So the adjacent side is x, it's unknown, over the hypotenuse, which is 1,000. And we can do what we did previously with sine and divide cosine by 1 and then cross multiply. So 1 times x is equal to x, and cosine of 47 times 1,000 is cosine of 47 times 1,000. So we now know that x is equal to cosine of 47 times 1,000. And if we put this into a calculator, cosine of 47 times 1,000, that's about 681.9. So we know that x is approximately 681.9. And we know that x is the height, so the height of the mountain, so height, which is denoted by x, is approximately 681.9 feet, since that's our unit of measurement. And that's a fairly realistic application of using cosine in the real world.